Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. What you want to talk about? Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, Lisa, Lowe, JT, and friends. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. What you want to talk about? Kitchen talk, conversations that cook. Kitchen talk, Lisa, Lowe, JT, and friends.
Lisa, Lowe, JT, and friends. Y'all ready to cook up some conversation? Come on.
Kitchen talk.
Let's talk.
Let's talk. I just need to wish everybody a happy new year. Like, I haven't seen you guys, or y'all haven't seen me.
Right.
Like
Happy
the
New
first,
Year.
I know.
Did you get new glasses?
Y'all. I miss y'all.
Did you get new glasses?
I did.
Yeah, they look good. They look good.
I did. So, since I have to wear readers now, I was fighting it for a very, very long time because I felt like it was a sign of old age.
Right.
So I would fight it and only use them when I absolutely had to. And then only in like with nobody around, because I didn't want anybody to see me have to pull out glasses to read something. Because it's like, oh, you old now. I'm like, but I went to the eye doctor and she said that it is just a natural progression
Right.
of age. And so that made me feel a little bit better. And so since I have to wear them, I might as well be cute.
Hey, might as well. Might as well. Might as well.
So yeah,
Why
so
not?
actually I got these today. I ordered them off of can I say where I ordered them off of? I don't want to. Yeah, I ordered them.
They may become a sponsor. But
Right.
we'll-
So when you become a sponsor, I'll say where I got them from.
Oh Lord.
Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Kitchen Talk CTC.
Conversations that cook.
They cook. And let me say that I was watching France and y'all held it down. I was like, okay. But then I was kind of like, oh, wait a minute, they having too much fun without me.
It was a great conversation. I mean, it was, I think that needed to happen. Most people are like, what? Yeah, that needed to happen. What happened at the Capitol, it needed to happen so that people can see the true side of what Black America, what Americans have been saying for, and not just as Black America, what Americans have been saying for a long time now. But
I agree.
people just either were not listening, they didn't believe it, or they knew it and they just turned a blind eye to it. And at this point, with the cameras and everything front stage, you couldn't hide that.
It's kind of like when I watched Selma, right? And how the images, once the images hit mainstream news,
correct,
then it was like, oh my God. It's like, but until you see it.
Right.
And so the same thing with George Floyd. You know what's going on. Right. But when you literally see it and you can't, and we're in the pandemic and you're watching your computer screens or your television or your phone or whatever, and it's a constant image and you cannot turn away from it, or you cannot dismiss it as rumor, or, oh, that's just what they say.
Correct.
You saw it. And so now you see it. Like all of those, I think I was watching or saw a clip on The View, and the lady, I can't think of her name, that's always pro Trump. she was even like just devastated about what had happened at the Capitol. And it was like, y'all really didn't understand that before then. Y'all
And
ain't see that
again,
coming,
they did. They
whatever.
did.
So yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
There's a
So
meme that's going out that shows all of the presidents, the past 4 presidents, and 45 is not on there. They don't show his picture. And I said, and it says erase, erase that particular error. And I said, no, we don't erase that error.
nope.
You got to remember that I got y'all saw my little chest for those that follow me, my little chest
I
piece.
saw it. I saw it today.
Listen,
I saw it today.
you don't want to forget that. Why do we not want to forget? Because we will make the same mistake again.
Right.
Right. So we can't forget that. We can't forget what happened in Selma. We can't forget what happened to Dr. King. We can't forget, the atrocities. We must remember so that we learn from the mistakes and we don't make the same mistakes. That's why we're in the position that we're in.
Right.
The things that we should have learned during Civil War about how we were treated and how we treat each other, the opportunities that we lost, those lessons were not learned.
Right.
And because of that, it just kept repeating.
Yep.
So we got to remember the good and the bad so that we could say we don't want that no more. We know what we want now, right? We know some of the good parts.
Right.
And those bad parts, we got to let go.
Yeah. You can't sweep it under the rug. You can't just be like, okay, yeah, we ain't gonna talk about that. No, it needs to be addressed.
Correct.
And it is here for the world to see.
Correct.
So no, you can't, like you say, you can't just forget it or erase it. No, you cannot. You cannot do that.
Pass on that. You don't get a pass on that, right?
Right.
And that's why I love the people who want to continue to celebrate and educate themselves about Black history throughout the year and not just on February.
Right.
Because that one, it should be that way. That's number one. But two, we should not forget it. We should not put it in a separate little corner like it's insignificant. I don't know why I'm catching my tongue on that. But it's an important piece. It's an important piece. Just as the history that we saw.
Okay, before we get to that, I want to say this. I am looking forward to the day when it's just history. It's not white history. It's not Black history. It's not this history. It's not that history. I'm looking forward to the day when somebody actually writes American history.
Right.
Because from the time you stepped foot over here and did what you did,
right,
or even past that, can we reach back and get the Native American history and move it forward that way? That's what I'm looking forward to. And honestly, okay, friends, here we go. With what we saw on yesterday, beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm actually feeling a little optimistic that I might get to see what I want to see.
Well, again, as I kind of alluded to it yesterday, and I definitely alluded to, hey.
Hey, you guys.
How are you?
Happy Inauguration Day.
I know, right?
It's so loud in my
inauguration.
Yes. So I'm not joining y'all in the kitchen today, but
it's quite all right.
Okay, Lisa, it's so great to see you, Francis.
It is good to see you.
Love you guys.
Love you.
Jamie.
Yes.
Yesterday, did you wear your pearls and chucks?
So interesting, Lisa. I might have been the only person that did not realize that was a thing. I might have been the on. I'm like, I had to ask myself, where have you been? Because everybody, and I mean everybody, had on Chucks and pearls. And at first, when I first saw the first image on Instagram or Facebook, I was like, oh, that's cute. Oh, okay, cute. Then I saw T-shirts, and I'm like, oh, this is not good, Jamie. You're a little bit of a dinosaur because you totally missed the memo. So I had my pearls on, but I did not have Chucks. And had I realized that was the actual thing, I would have been prepared, but I wasn't prepared.
So a friend of mine texted me and she was like, all the ladies we're supporting, we're gonna wear pearls and chucks and blazers and da 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 da. I was like, oh, okay. So I went on and prepared, whatever the day before and wore them to work that yesterday. So I was like, oh, so I posted a picture, whatever, and everybody was doing it. But when I saw all the shirts, my vice president and
Looks
pearls and
like
chucks,
me.
and I was like, wait a minute, why I didn't get a t-shirt?
Why
I
didn't I
got
get
a
a
t-shirt.
I mean, I didn't know that was a thing. Like I'm saying, like everyone had a Chucks and Pearls T-shirt, or my vice president looks like me, or
Looks like me, like that.
and I'm like, somebody could have told me, like, at least you got a text message. Like nobody sent me a text message. So
I got you next time, Jamie. I got you.
Thank you. But I'm gonna have to. I told myself I'm gonna have to get with the program and post a picture. It's gonna be 5 days late, but so.
Well, mainly it was
So
her sorority sisters that kind of put that together and that theme. She wears Chuck Taylors.
Yeah.
But she's a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha. So because of that, she had her pearls. So it said pearls and chucks. Then, everybody started doing pearls and chucks.
yeah.
Well, it's all good. It's all good.
So I did.
I celebrated differently.
How did you celebrate?
Everybody was, me, on a whole different planet. Everybody's on the hype show, and I loved it. I love the fashion. Michelle Obama, Barack came out looking like hands down.
Amazing.
I love the fashion. I love the pictures. The speeches were phenomenal. The people that they picked. I love the HBCU experience. I don't know if you guys caught that, where all of the bands were doing their own things on campus. I was like, you know what? Celebrate. But we got to get ready to re-strategize, refocus, and get on the bandwagon for real. Like, our vote counted. Our vote matters.
Oh, yes.
And we can't just wait till the next presidential election to start back again. We need to get ready for this midterm election. A lot of these people who were talking trash during the Capitol, what you want to call it, Capitol. A lot of those people need to get terrorist act. That's what it was.
Terrorist attack.
A lot of these undercover terrorists need to get voted out. And it's going to happen during the midterm election, right? That's their turn. So we got to be ready. And then we got to start thinking about the next 4 years. So for me, it's about strategy. Yeah, it's cool to wear the t-shirt and to, I have my shirt on.
Friends, can you just have one moment?
I did.
One moment.
I'm gonna tell you, my moment was not yesterday. My moment was when I knew that those votes went through. That was my moment. Like when those states said we are good, when Georgia came back and said.
Right.
That's what I was celebrating.
That was short-lived because the same day that happened, right? The Georgia elections, that was also the same, day or the next day after they were, going to certify the votes, which was also the same day as the terrorist attack. So, I get it, but that was like it was very hard that day to be happy about where our country was potentially going or could go, or, the hope was short-lived, right?
Right.
So to actually see the inauguration of Joe Biden and the swearing in of Madam Vice President Harris, like, I do think we need to at least take a minute or more than a
Oh,
moment
yeah.
to
I
like,
mean, we celebrate, but we prepare.
absolutely,
We got to prepare. Like, we still got to keep them accountable for
yeah,
everything that they
Sure.
said that they were going to do.
absolutely.
Yes, I love, yes, I voted for them. Yes, I'm hoping and pushing for them and that administration to take America to a greater level, right? Not just great, but let's get to a greater level.
Right.
But at the same time, we got to hold them accountable to the T. Like,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah,
a
Biden
lot
Can
of
we
these
get
things
it?
have to
Can
change.
we get it to the great? That's the thing. Get it to
We
the
can.
great.
We can, and because we voted the way we did,
Yeah.
they have the authority now and
Yeah.
the position now to make
Yeah.
that happen.
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, Biden and Harris definitely owe a debt to Black women,
Yep,
to Black people in general,
that's
to,
correct.
Latina women, to Latinos, definitely owe a debt. And so I really hope that they don't forget their base. Definitely, I'm not trying to criticize President Obama. I love him. He looked amazing. He had more gray hair than I've seen before.
He
But we can talk
did.
about that later. But when he got into office, he did not take on the Black agenda. And I hope that Biden and Harris will be unapologetic
Right.
about doing that. I hope that we really see some action in terms of police brutality,
Yep.
reform, criminal justice
Right.
reform. I really
Educational reform.
education, water,
Right.
financial, lending opportunities, small
Yes.
business owners, COVID relief specifically for Black businesses. They owe it to us. And I hope that they don't miss that opportunity, because you're absolutely right. There's a moment for reflection,
Mhm.
but we also need to prepare. And so holding them accountable, looking towards the next 4 years, I totally agree with you. And I hope that that's my hope, is that they'll go ahead and start, definitely unifying the United States, definitely being a president and a vice president for everyone, but also recognizing the injustices of Black America and righting those wrongs specifically and urgently.
Yeah.
I got two things. Number one, they're in a better position than Barack Obama was. President
true.
Barack
That
Obama
is
was.
true. That is true.
Barack came in with a lot of haters from day one, from before the vote was certified. He had haters, and he didn't have the Senate on his side, I believe, right? So
Right.
he didn't have all of the pieces in place, and we did a disservice again during the midterm election, where we could have given him the Senate and the House so that some of the things that we take for granted would have been in place.
Right.
Maybe more could have been done, but he had a hill to climb. But I agree with you. There was still some places where he could have made a bigger difference.
Absolutely.
The second thing is, there's no unification.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We keep trying to make that happen, but what they can do is just be the president and the vice president for the United States. And that's for the people who will agree with them and for the people who disagree with them.
Absolutely.
They just have to do their job. And this whole we need to come together, and man, we've been talking about that since since the Civil War. If you're not on a bandwagon yet in terms of saying, hey, these are Americans, these are people, and they should be treated fairly and they should be treated right, then I don't know what else I could tell you.
But you have to keep trying. You know, you just do. You have to keep trying. We have to learn. We have
Listen,
to learn
the
that we
president
still
and the
can
vice
work
president,
together even when we disagree. You can still
we
work
can do that.
together.
I agree
And
with you.
I think that is the unity. It's not the unity of I'm gonna come to your house and eat and we're gonna break bread. It's not that unity. It's
Okay.
the unity of working together, finding common ground, finding compromise. That don't mean I got to like you. We just need to, that's the unity, is
Right.
that we're able to work together even when we disagree.
And
To
Lisa,
me,
I think what France is saying is for the insurrectionists, the racists, to leave them alone, just to discard them. There's no unifying. I think that's what he's saying. I totally agree with what you're saying. I'm not sure where I stand with France's side. I mean, his is a little bit more militant, which I absolutely love and respect, and I understand, because with me personally, I don't negotiate with racists either. I'm not going to try to get you to
More
understand
terrorists.
Black oppression or what your privilege means. You know, if you think you're superior or supreme or entitled simply because you're white and this is your birthright, then you and I have nothing to discuss. But with that being said, I am not the president of the United States. And I think that's the problem that we have, is that we have ignored these people. We have pushed them to the side. They have felt forgotten, unheard, and they have did what they thought they needed to do, be patriots and rise up. And that's and it's because we have ignored those people. So I don't think pushing them to the side is the answer. Maybe unification isn't the answer, but we can't ignore them, because what we have learned is they are a base, and you've got some politicians that will utilize them for their own personal gain and stir them up. And we'll see what we have seen, or we'll continue to see what we have seen, and it could even gradually become worse. So we've got to figure out a way to include even the racist. And I think that starts with acknowledging that racism is so sewn into the very fabric of the United States of America. It is there. It will always be here. And we have to deal with it. And to ignore it and say racism is not around because we have a Black president or a Black vice president.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
right.
It's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
But the other thing that we need to remember as leaders, and even it's in the good book, when it rains for the just and the unjust. So they just need to do, the president and the administration just need to do their job. And when they do their job justly, even the unjust will benefit from it. And that's what I was really saying, right? Even the people who are against it will still benefit. But we have to do it justly, and they have to do their jobs. We can't say, oh, we want to hear their voice. No, there's a Black voice that has not been heard in America in so long. There's a woman's voice that has not been heard in America for so long. There is a March for the Poor People voice that has not been heard in America for too long. There is a military veterans voice. After they sacrifice, they come back. Come on now.
Right.
So yeah, I get you in terms of we're not going to ignore you. I said this earlier, Jamie, that we can't forget 45. You know, a lot of people are like, he's done, he's gone, he's erased. We don't have to remember him. And I say no. I put it on my Facebook page today with my little pieces, my chess pieces. I got my 2 Pence and Trump chess pieces. We can't forget them. We need to remember this.
Oh, absolutely.
We don't make the same mistake. We need to remember this so that it doesn't happen again. And that, I think, again, it helps us to strategically put our 2 new people in a better position. Good afternoon.
Do y'all think France plays a little chess, huh?
Oh yes.
Just a little.
Lavita!
Hugs. Hey, everybody.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Hugs.
So everybody, this is my good friend Lavita Montgomery.
Hi.
This is Jamie Coleman and Fransley Moise.
Welcome to
France
Kitchen
and
Talk.
I our host for Kitchen Talk. JT is out today, and Jamie is our good friend, always coming in on Kitchen Talk whenever we want to talk to her.
Okay.
I feel like I'm part of the regular.
Part of the
She
team.
is part of the family, definitely. She is definitely part of the Kitchen Talk family. We love it. Lavita lives in DC, so I asked her to come on so that we could so she could add some content to our conversation. So Lavita, as you can see, we get way off track and then we come back and then we get off again.
It's a lot that we can talk about, though, so I understand.
It is. So what I want to ask you, how are you doing, first of all?
I'm really good. I actually just came back down to Miami to celebrate my mother's 65th birthday.
Okay.
Last night, well, actually, yesterday was a beautiful day.
Yes, it was.
I worked from home. It was cold outside. I knew it was going to be cold outside, but I worked from home and was able to watch. I wanted to be out there, so I tried to get tickets. But being inside and watching it while working from the comfort of my home was just as good. And I cried during the ceremony. And then at night, during the concert, I had that on. And, at the end, when I think it was Katy Perry, she did her song, The Fireworks. I actually heard the fireworks booming from my home.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, wait, what is that? And I was like, yes, that is all the $650,000 worth of fireworks that they had. I heard it. So it was special that I couldn't be there, but I still heard it. And then coming home today to celebrate my mother's birthday. So I'm in a good place.
Good. So what was like the mood like leading up was in the city?
So beforehand, to be honest, we were leading up, we were like everybody in the US, tired of Trump supporters. I actually have friends who were driven off the road by big trucks with those Trump 2020 flags and, off of intimidation. And that was while we were all voting. People whose neighbors, were going toe and toe with one another. Being in DC, seeing the protests, and then, the Trump people actually coming to protest and getting a different experience than we had during the protest for Black Lives Matter. Now, I didn't go out there then, but I was there for a prayer walk with my church. And, that was early in the morning. That was fine. It was peaceful, of course, prayer walk. But to see them in DC and hear of it and always driving, I have to drive through DC to go to work, to and from work, and all the streets are blocked off. We were tired of it. Yeah. And even, when they won, but it was still contested, we were tired of it. And to have the riots happen, like, oh my gosh, what? This is going down like right there. And so literally not until the day of, I think a lot of weight was lifted off of us. One of my other church friends mentioned, she's just in a happy place. And I was like, now I know Biden and Harris are not going to fix everything. Right. And it's not going to happen like that. But seemingly there is weight lifted off. So that is how it felt leading up. We were all tired and just shocked and surprised when things happened. one after another that we could not believe our eyes. Like it had us clutching our pearls. Like, wait a minute, what? And how they get treated. And I have friends who are who like to be out there in the scene when things happen, and I appreciate them because I get to know what's going on too. Um, so that's what we were seeing. That's what we were experiencing. It was just a whole, not even a summer of protests, but like a whole year.
Yeah.
Unreadiness, uneasiness, and miraculously, the day of, it was a much better feeling. Even on the plane going to the airport, like I was like, okay, I don't think I'm going to see them or experience any of them there. So it was over. Joy comes in the morning.
Yeah.
Yes,
Joy
it
comes
does.
in the morning.
Yes.
I kind of felt that too, like when I was watching, because I was at work, so I have a TV in my office, so I had it on CNN, and then I switched it to BT, and it was just so nice. It was beautiful to look at. Even when the snow fell a little bit, they had like a little snow flurry, and then the sun came out, and you could just see everybody's face just look, like you say, like relief.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I heard, because I didn't see it, but I heard that Trump got on the plane and left the White House, and I was like, okay, whatever. So we're not gonna have a big deal with that. But I remember thinking too that I went to President Obama's inauguration, the first
Mm-hmm.
one, and I remember that feeling of getting out of the bushes
Yes.
and and just like everybody that was in the crowd, it was just so nice. Like
Right.
it didn't matter what background you were from. You didn't know if anybody was rich, poor, none of that. But everybody was like, woo! And it was just so, and I almost got a little bit of that, although I felt sad too for Madam Vice President that she won't get the fanfare of the balls and the celebration. And I did feel a little some kind of way about that, but just to see her
Mm-hmm.
get sworn in and then sworn in by another woman,
Right. Right. Right.
Lisa,
I'm
I
like,
was at the
listen,
first
the
inauguration.
tide is turning, people.
It is. It has turned. Thank God.
I think one of my favorite parts was watching him walk up. I think they were walking towards the Capitol. I can't remember where, but his wife was to the right of him, and the vice president was to the left of him, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, man, this dude is like me. He's surrounded by women.
You know what? I can't stand
This
him.
dude got nowhere to go but up. He got nowhere to go. Ain't no excuses. Like you got a lot of powerful Nubian queens
Right.
that's there to assist and provide their knowledge, their strength, their guidance. Dude, if y'all mess up this right here, let me tell you, I'm gonna be right there at the voting line again. And that, to me, that was the most. That again, the power of the vote was the most important thing that we had to see this year. We had to see how powerful that vote, our vote, is, right? Like when we really get out, then the change happens, right? So I'm hoping again that we continue to push that effort, not just on the national level, but on the state level as well as the local levels. There's a change that needs to happen, and I'm hoping that we pick up on that and that we say, okay, we know that we're the people that's truly in power, because the power is really with the people.
But really, friends, I mean, technically, you see the power of the vote, whether it's used or not used.
Right.
Correct.
You see the power of the vote, right? So you saw the power of the vote when we elected the first Black president.
Correct.
The power was used. So we always have the power of the vote. It's a matter of whether we use it or not.
and we
And
need
so
to
we
use
see what happens when we use it, and we see what happens when we don't.
it. Yeah, I agree. Beautiful point. Beautiful point.
You
Anyway,
know, I was at the first inauguration too, and the feeling, I mean, everyone was white, black, was so happy. It was cold. It was the coldest I have never been in weather that cold before.
Yes.
And I was born in Germany, but it was so cold that day. Um, and but contrast to watching it yesterday, I was so happy in 2000, was it 2009? 2009 when Obama was started. It was just surreal.
correct.
Yesterday was emotional. I just could not stop crying. Just watching that, Biden, Harris, Obama, Michelle, even the Bushes, the Clintons, it was for me more than a relief. It was really emotional, like for me. And I was proud that my daughter was watching it. She's virtual school, so having her watch that and see that, witness that, was also another element to it. Because as moms, we have and parents, when we have children, we want them to be able to see or envision what they could be. Um,
Mhm.
and so that right there was an embodiment of that, that hope, that wish as a parent. So I'm hopeful. I want to stay in this moment, and then I want to get to work. But I wanted to ask you, France. I mean, do we need to wait 4 years? I mean, I think with the power of social media and how everything is right here, right now, can't we just voice our criticism now? Why wait till we get to the poll to do?
Right.
Oh no, that's what I was saying earlier. I mean, the board has literally reset, right? I mean, on day one, Biden signed like I think 12 or 20 something executive orders. That was day one.
Yeah.
So the board has been reset. We are now playing a full new deck, but every move counts, right? Everything counts, and we got to keep them accountable, and we got to keep ourselves accountable. Because, like I said, they are in power, but we put them in power.
Right.
Like Lisa said, yeah, because we didn't vote, Trump got in power. So essentially, we got to say, hey, we need you to get on the job. We already thinking about who's gonna, if he's not able to go for another 4 years, who's that person gonna be? Because I'm gonna tell you, the Republicans are already doing it.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah.
Oh
So,
yeah.
you all, well, I'm gonna save it for another show because my T-shirt is about to come out with my acronym. But we got to get on it. We cannot regret this opportunity to say, hey, we didn't do that. We didn't think ahead. And with Obama, that was what I said on 2009.
You did. You
When
did.
Have somebody ready.
I put it in my social media feed. We got to start thinking about tomorrow. And this is during inauguration night. Like, it was so beautiful. And everybody's celebrating. I said, okay, that's cool. Have a good time. But we got to be ready to work. So, and we dropped the ball.
That's the issue with the Democratic Party. We are, that party is so short-sighted. I mean, don't get me wrong, Republican Party is while they're more organized, they don't necessarily have a voice. And I think what Trump did was provide them a voice and a base.
Right.
Because that had gotten lost. They didn't really have, what's the word? They didn't have what their stances are, what their deliverables could be until Trump got there. And that's one thing he gave them. So you're absolutely right. Right now, they know they have a base. They know what their base wants to hear. And they're preparing to run based on that base and based on that previous voice that they've given. The Democratic Party, on the other hand, is so short-sighted. I hope they don't get lost, because this time around, you're absolutely right. What's different from this administration than Obama's administration is Democrats are in control everything, the House, the Senate, and the White House.
Correct.
So there really is not an excuse to
Right.
get anything done for Black America,
Right.
period.
Period.
So I don't want to wait 4 years. I want to see on their neck right now. Or tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's
And then-
exactly what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Hey, I love the outfits. I love the fanfare, the pearls, and the chunks. But guess what? We on it.
Around.
You're not doing your job. We voting you out. Just
Right.
like they said on the Cosby Show. I brought you into this world. I can take you out.
I think it may happen this time because Biden has already appointed the most diverse cabinet than
Yeah.
any other.
Yeah.
And what we did not have with Obama, we had Obama, but who else was there?
Yeah.
And so now that we have representatives of every other area, maybe they can, how they got to their position, listening and helping people that supported them. Maybe they can carry that torch for their people, and it could be representation of us. And I do think it will happen. I do agree with the power of the vote. We got complacent with Obama for the first year, and even like, oh yeah, he's good. Second year, and we lost it, with Trump. But I definitely think we realize now it's kind of like the child that you support. You support that little one and watch them grow up and hope that they do you proud. So people that we got to vote for and, help get into office, we hope that they do us proud as well. And I think, I pray, I don't know them people personally, but I pray and I do think that they will do us proud.
So there's a new America right now, and I hope y'all seeing it, right? We talked about Democrats, we talk about Republicans, but there's a new America, and that's what happened to the Republican Party. They lost their identity. And Trump, as you stated, he gave them a new identity.
Right.
But the people who really kind of were old Republicans, that old base, they're like, this is not us, right? When they saw the Capitol, this is not us.
Right.
And that's why that vote went the way it did, because a lot of them voted for Biden. So America is still trying to find out who she is, right? We're still trying to figure out, okay, what does it look like? And how can we get rid of what we don't want to see? So I'm hoping that when they actually work together, because I agree with you that there's a diverse group, I hope that they do listen to each other and work with each other and not against each other. Because as you know, any area, I'm from the federal level all the way to the school board level.
Right.
There's always some drama, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully they could figure that out, work it out, and know that they're working for the American people, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Sandra, Jamal, can you put that comment up from Sandra, please? So yeah, she said we got to work on the next 2 years of keeping the House and the Senate.
Correct.
So yeah, so that's our work. That's our work for the next 2 years, and then working on the next 4 years. We got to figure out, because y'all, the truth be told, Biden, I don't think he got 8 years in him. I'm sorry.
She don't think Biden has 8 years in him.
He has 8 years in him. I don't.
And to be,
Joe's slow, but it goes back to Francis' point. Like, the Democratic Party, I really hope this is a wake-up call from them. And it's just not the Senate and the House. It's our governors. It's our state attorneys. It's our sheriffs. We need to, like Lavita said, get complacent. And we need to stay on them. And it can be done. And this should be an example or illustration that it can be done. We control it. And I don't think this has happened since Clinton, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. That's correct.
So we can do this.
Sandra says he already said he's only doing one term.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting older. I saw that with Barack, how he did age. And we saw that when he was leaving, he did age. Even you said it tonight that his hair was kind of, more gray than we've seen in the past. But
Yep, totally agree, Jamie.
yep,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's all critical. It's all critical. I think if he does, once he completes the 4 years, we should already be thinking about who's going to be next.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I know this is controversial. I don't know if my VP is going to be able to become the president. I'm just saying. We can hold that for another conversation.
Right.
I don't know.
Okay, I'm on the fence.
Same
And the
support.
reason I just had this discussion with somebody, and she can, but it's gonna be who she chooses as the running mate. And we are going to have to work. Y'all think we worked for this one?
Again.
Yeah.
Is America ready for a woman? Is America ready for a Black woman?
I say
That's the
this.
thing.
I will say this. It's not. We are America. I don't know. That's what keeps eating at me. And I definitely agree with what I understand what you're saying. I just feel like sometimes we have to ask ourselves that too. So during this term for her, it's gonna say a lot. Like her leadership right now is gonna hold weight in terms of how is it gonna move forward for the next 4 years or whatever, 8 years. We'll see.
I agree with you partially, France, but in some respects, I don't care how great her leadership is. Hillary Clinton was a much better leader than Donald Trump.
That's true.
But you weren't looking at her qualifications.
Right.
You was looking at the fact that she was a woman.
Right. And we need to stop doing that to Black women, because Black women have to be overqualified to get leadership.
Yes.
And they shouldn't have to be. If you can have Donald Trump in the White House, well, God, you can have Pookie. So let's
Thank you, Jamie. Pookie for president.
Sorry, I got it. Pookie. I love Pookie. Okay.
Listen, y'all gotta vote for Pookie, because Pookie is the real deal. Pookie is coming. Let me tell you, man.
Pookie got common sense. Okay, so Pookie them, because there's some friends and cousins too. But I digress. But what we collectively, we do it in our community.
That's right.
And we do it to us.
Correct.
Black women have to be overqualified to get positions, and we tear them down for the littlest things. But we can have a complete imbecile running the country and having his hand on the button. So I think we need to get away from that. I'm hopeful that Madam Vice President will consider a run for presidency.
Well, listen, she did already. She did already, right?
She did.
She did, and they told, and her whole party was like, But I will say this: one of the things that we should do, and I hope that this term kind of showed us this, that we should be looking for what you just said, the best qualified, whether it's Pookie, whether it's Nene, whether it's Shaquana. I want the best person for the job. And you're right. It's not just Black women. It's also Black men. I mean, really, if you Black, you got to do 10 times more. But again, we just need the best person for the job. So it's going to be interesting to see who actually puts their ticket in the hat for the next election.
That's right. But it also depends on us. I mean, while the Republican Party may have found a voice, now the Democratic Party doesn't really have an agenda or an identity that well either. And so this might be a prime opportunity for us to give it to them. Okay, Democratic Party, y'all need to get organized. Y'all need to get succinct. And this is who we want. So get the funding behind her. Start promoting her right now. Start doing whatever we have to do right now to ensure that she gets on the ticket, and that she wins.
Right.
Okay. So, they're looking for that type of assurance. And these they may not know how about getting it. Maybe they do, and maybe they're just still short-sighted. But we have the power now, especially with everybody having a platform. And that's what I mean by social media. Not that social media is this all encompassing thing, but it gives everybody a voice and a platform. So why not use the platform to tell those in position of power what we want, instead of them telling us what we need?
Yeah.
So I agree with you, but I'm still looking to see the work, right? Show me your good deeds, and now show me if you deserve. Because again, like I said earlier, you got to show me right now, because we need to keep our foot on the gas in terms of all the things that we talked about. If they get a small percentage of it done, that to me is a victory. A small percentage, that's a victory. And if that happens, then yes, I'm all for you. I put my vote in right now, right? But if that doesn't get done with all the tools that you have at your disposal, we got to have a come to Jesus.
Right. But you're saying that too, France, as if every person that votes thinks rationally, thinks strategically. There are people, a lot of people, like millions of people, who think optically. And it's a matter of what they see.
I agree
And
with
what
you.
they see is black and white. What they see is male and female.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
that's
if that's the
a
case,
whole other
we need to
thing.
be strategic in that approach, right? Like,
Right.
who is that next person that's
Right.
going to be able to take the helm of leadership and really do the job? Again, I'm always fascinated. Like you just said, Trump was looking for how many votes?
11,784.
And one.
And one.
Hey,
But
happy
what I think about too, France, is you're saying if you don't know how to play the game, you're gonna get played.
correct.
And whether we want to admit it or not, we got to know how to play the game.
Right.
You're gonna lose every. No, let me bring in his piece in. You're gonna lose every time, Trump. You're gonna lose every time, Trump. Again, it's strategy, it's a gameplay, and we got to be ready to move. Again, the board has reset. We need to be ready for the next move. We need to be ready for the next vote. At the end of the day, our country depends on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our democracy depends on it.
It does. We saw it firsthand.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's about us who's in this conversation speaking up more, or finding a way to get our voice heard, so that they can do what we want them to. Because I think we have a lot of people who have opinions, people who speak up, but not a lot of people support them, or they don't have that access to be listened to. So Black Lives Matter, how long have we been here? And now we have the list of what they are looking for, and is that happening, right? Now I think it's more popular. People know actually what the real agenda is of Black Lives Matter. Can that actually take place now that we have these people that we voted? That's one thing I'm going to be looking for. Can they defund the policemen? Can they do all of what is on the agenda, or some things? Can they do even one? Because it is popular enough. And so things like that, those type of agendas, how can we, because it started a long time ago, how can we get, though? That's what I think it matters. Not only are we running for the positions at every level, but are we speaking up and supporting enough in one area, like finding our voice? I like that. Okay, let's go support that one person so we can get it up to the top level to be heard and get something, some changes made about that. I think that's what we are. That's our challenge right now. That right there.
The terminology is what's getting me. It's not defund the police. Or that's what they say. Defund the police. To me, is reorganize. Let's
It
reorganize.
is. That's what it
fund,
is. Correct.
right?
Correct.
Because we still need to pay the people. Because guess what? When something happens, you calling 911.
Correct.
Right? So
Or are you?
Huh?
Or are you? As Black
Yes.
people, we scared to call 911.
They still do. They still do. That's why, if anything, we need to reorganize and say, okay, we need more of our people in our areas, policing our areas. So, it's the same thing the Black Panther movement was trying to do, right? So again, it's rethinking, reimagining how this should play out. I think that's the biggest job that they have to do. Trump and his regime, that's what they were doing. When they were putting in judges, they were redesigning how this thing is played. When he was voting in Supreme Courts and all this other stuff, putting in his people, they were trying to reorganize how the game is played. And I think that's our challenge.
Right. I agree with you on that. I think that you and Levita just pointed out something that we definitely need to hone in on and strategize about is what is our agenda and what do certain things mean? Because defund the police can mean a lot of different things.
Correct.
And to the suburban, 70-year-old white woman who's a widow, that means she can't call 911. That means that, and that's scary. And that's not what the vast majority of any organization, Black Lives Matter, or anyone that's, fighting in favor of justice reform, criminal justice reform, in some respects, and police brutality. So it means so much to different people. It means different things to different people. And I think we need to define what these things are, what it like you said, strategize, get an agenda and get a voice. And that to Levita's point is, using a platform, letting our voices be heard and speaking up on those things. And while we're not all going to agree, that's just the nature of being an individual or a person. I do think we do need to find a common agenda, and we need to put that forward. So I'm hopeful.
I am too. I'm very optimistic. I think I think we're making a turn, but at the same time, I hope that we don't feel like we did when Obama got elected. We've arrived, and we're in post racism. We were not.
Correct.
There was so many people that felt like, okay, yes, all right, Martin's dream has come true.
Correct. That's what I was saying earlier. We can't be like, oh yeah, we love it. We can't listen.
We gotta keep working.
We gotta put our foot on the gas, as you said earlier. Keep our I don't even want to use that, but I was gonna say keep our foot on their necks, just like they did with George Floyd, but I would be too mean, right? We need to keep our foot on the gas so we can move forward and really take, like I said, the hats that say "Make America Great Again." We have an opportunity to make it greater.
Make it great. It was never great. Let's make it great.
It was never great, but
let's make it great.
The other thing that we did when Obama got into the office was, 100 days would go by, another 100 days would go by, a year would go by, 2 years. Okay, he's going to do something. Any minute he's going to do. Okay, so maybe the next 4 years he's going to. We just got to give him opportunity. He's going to do something, and that attitude was one of complacency, one of hope, one of complacency, and that's what I'm hoping we also avoid. All of us, all Americans, is that here are the things that we want to see change. No police officer should ever feel so entitled and emboldened to shoot an unarmed person. Period. No police officer should ever feel entitled and emboldened to put your knees on someone's neck and crush them while your hands are in the pocket and he's bleeding. Like nobody that
Under
we should
your custody. Come on.
we definitely, and it should not take 100 days. It should not take a year. It shouldn't take 4 years
Yeah.
for him to do something about that.
Yeah.
So,
As we said earlier, he has the ball in his court. You got all of the House, the Senate, and the White House, and he has America.
The
You
cabinet.
know what I mean? Like you got the game right now, Joe. This is your game. So you can't drop the ball right now. This is
You
your
can't
time.
fumble the ball.
This is your time to shine. I agree with you. That's what Obama didn't have. If Obama had that, I only could imagine what he could have done.
I'm not letting you do that. With Obama had enough tools to make a change. Don't get me wrong. I love Obama.
Not with
I don't think we're gonna agree on that one.
That he had the power of the pen, and he could have done executive orders like he had done.
Right.
But
it's not enough, though. It's not enough. You still need the Senate. You still need the House to say, hey, this is going to be law. I mean, let's take Obamacare for an example. When it first came out, this is supposed to be free health care, which they should do this term. Free health care for every American, right? That's not what came out. Mitch McConnell and his Clooney's and all these other people watered it down, chopped it up to so many pieces that what he had was enough to say, okay, this is the best we could do with the circumstance that we have. I agree with you. He could have done more. I agree with you on that. Just like Trump was writing his pens everywhere, executive order this, but he didn't have that. He's not going to have the same power that Biden is going to have. Biden right now is literally running the shop. If everybody agrees, if everybody plays ball right and they listen to each other, they work with each other, this could be a game-changing opportunity. I mean, we talked about all of the pieces: healthcare, education.
Trump came in and changed the whole tax code. Okay, he came in and changed the whole tax code.
Yes.
He didn't care what the House Democrats had to say about it. He gave them one little opportunity to make it work. Basically, he said, "This is happening. Either you can get on board and whatever you want to fight for, you can, you can bring it up to me. But this is going to happen." Obama's approach was more of a
let's work together
approach.
Yeah, okay. I agree with you, but I agree with you.
So Jamie, can we say, I'm sorry, friends, can we say that this is a prime example of white privilege and a black man trying to stay in his place?
And that's
come on. It's history.
And I hope that that's a lesson to
we got to come in. We got to come in and try to be, whatever. Obama was a peaceful person, trying to do things right. Don't care whether it was right or not.
He did it, and that's how we need to be.
Let me say this. That you're right in the terms of Trump did how he did, but let me tell you, he didn't do it by himself. He's not that smart. We can't make him seem that smart. He had, again, people working on the undercurrent. Mitch McConnell, these people, you saw what's his name, who talked about let's come together. The coward, call him a coward. First he was telling us,
Lindsey Graham.
Lindsey Graham. You saw Lindsey Graham? It's the coward. The coward first, he's talking about, yes, we need to do, and then, we need to come. These people work on the undercurrent. You think they for you, but they not. Obama had to learn that the hard way. When he said, we shake your hands, we're going to work together. These people in the back office
saying you ain't
trash, talking, he ain't this, he ain't that. The worst part is sometimes it was even us in the back office not believing in the vision and the goal. So Lisa, beautiful point. White privilege still has its ugly way of finding its way back to the picture. And that's what Trump was able to do. He's a white guy. Oh, he wants to do it? Well, he's the president. Let him do it. Obama was trying to do the same thing. Oh, no, you can't. No, that you can't do it. These people work on the undercurrent. So it's either they're in the light or they way deep in the
We
dark.
have been
You don't know.
conditioned, trained, brainwashed, whatever you want to call it, to try to work the system.
Correct.
They come in with white privilege and it's like, I'm going to do what I want to do. We don't come in to go that way.
No.
But we need to.
I ain't saying we shouldn't, Jamie. I'm not saying we shouldn't. I'm not saying it ain't right.
Listen,
I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying that's what it is.
I'm going to give y'all the Sunday morning service. They come to steal, kill, and destroy.
Well, and here's the thing. I hope that Biden recognizes that he needs to do this for everyone.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
I hope, and I think you're right. I think he's got more tools than Obama. I'm definitely not disputing that. But at the same time, I do think, and this is not a bashing session for Obama, I think Obama should not have tiptoed in there. I agree with you, Sandra.
I agree.
You are on it tonight.
Yes, she is.
Come on, kitchen talk. We're gonna have to talk, girl.
Okay.
On it.
But I'm hopeful that what they don't do is try to toe the line. That's what I'm hoping that they don't do. I hope they come in and just like Trump put his boys in and his girls in the Supreme Court. Right. I hope Biden, you can put me up. Okay. Put me up.
You ready to work? Are you ready to work?
You put me in the Supreme Court. But I'm just saying that, they need to be unapologetic and about the decisions that they make for the country. And they should not toe the line because of how it's going to look or, I need to get bipartisanship. Right is right, wrong is wrong. So, they owe a debt. They owe a debt, like I said earlier, to Black people, Black women in general, Latinas. Those are the people that came out in droves and voted for this change that we currently see in DC. And so I'm hopeful about it, but at the same time, I'm also very adamant that we should just after this week, I think we do need to this week.
We celebrated last night. It's today, man. We on the 100 days started yesterday. Yesterday, 100 days started.
You do not let up.
We need to reflect.
You know why we don't need to reflect? Because of the last 4 years. That's why we don't need to reflect. Because we will regret that we reflected. What we need to do is strategize. We saw the party. We heard the parades. We heard the bangs and all that. Loved it. Beautiful. Time to go to work. Tomorrow, I need him to be like Obama. 8 o'clock at your desk. Work calling somebody. I got a bill. We need to make it work. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to see.
So, Jamie, we're going to see you on the Supreme Court. We're going to work on that.
Or the federal court. Hey, whatever. But
you got my vote.
Mine too, Jamie. I got you. So, guys, look, our hour is gone, right?
Just like that. Every time.
Just like that. So, thank you, Lavita. Oh, God, I miss you so much.
I love this.
Thank you, Jamie, for hanging out with us again. Mwah. Love you guys. Love you. Hope JT, if you're watching, well, you're probably not watching because you would have commented by now. But hope you get to feeling better. I am glad to be back on Kitchen Talk after 2 weeks. Yes, thank God.
Thank God.
I know. Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Mommy. My mom is
Thank
watching.
you. Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching. Friends, thank you for helping me hold it down. Jamal, my man. Jamal, thank you for engineering for us. We appreciate you. Listen, we're gonna be back right here next week. 9 o'clock on Thursdays, 9 o'clock, right in this same place. If you are watching us on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you won't miss another show. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, hit the like button and they'll give you notifications too of when we're on. But thank you guys for your support. Thank you, Lavita. Thank you, Jamie, for hanging out. You guys definitely will be back. You know, we pull Jamie every time we want to talk about politics. We pull Jamie.
It becoming a best show.
But yeah, definitely a great show. Thank you guys so much. And we will see you all next week. Bye.